Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our evening show. This is Gachie Skyman TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. Who is controlling this country, ladies and gentlemen? Who are the people who are controlling this nation? We have had some leaders lamenting that anytime the president is out of the country, many things happens. And for sure, it is true. You remember, even Uhuru Kenyatta's northern farm was raided by the mafia, by the goons, when Uhuru Kenyatta was in Kenya, and William Samoei Ruto was out of the country, and Gachagua was in charge of this country. Margaret Nyakango was arrested when William Samoei Ruto was out of the country. And many other things that we cannot actually keep the count, because there are many things that happens in this country, deliberately so, including when the Azimio was calling for mass action, William Samoei Ruto would always run away from Kenya. So the big question is, who is controlling this country? In my view, this country is under the Kin Mafia. The Kin Mafia, you normally find them in Rift Valley. And these are people, when you look at it, and generally, they come from certain region. And you find them coming from Nandi. They are Tugen, others, Utapata, Pale, Kipsigis. But majority of them are Nandi. And they eat Kenya. They eat Project Kenya. And they don't have mercy. Hawana huruma na taifa letu la Kenya. And they wear expensive suits. You find them having very expensive watches, costing as much as 7,000. And they have several watches, not even one, ladies and gentlemen. Again, most of these guys are tenderpreneurs. They are the one who decides who gets which tender and which project is going to be funded by the government. And they control all the contracts. They decide who will be given the contract. And when you had Raila Amolo Odinga yesterday talking about the contract between, the tender between these guys and the British company, and the way it led to massive corruption in the Kenya National Examination Council that led to massive leakage, Raila knew what he was saying. Raila knows that this country is under mafia. So these guys are so powerful, ruthless, and they wield a lot of power. They have a lot of power. Their word is like the law, and the president cannot contradict them. This guy, when you look at them, they discriminate other communities. They discriminate other people, and they don't care. But the funny thing about it is that they have very little knowledge about statecraft. They are clueless. Unlike those guys who were during their Kibaki's time, because even during Kibaki's time, there were a group of people who are referred to as the Kin Mafia. But the Kin Mafia had the interests of the nation at heart. Although they were eating, they cared about Project Kenya. And they also cared about the development of this country. But the Kin Mafia, they don't care about anything. They don't care about the future. They don't care about this country. They are not nationalists. They have not done anything good for this country. They have never fought for anything, and they stand for nothing other than filling their stomach and buying expensive houses, expensive homes in Kenya and abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, name one mafia that you know in this country. One of these guys who are actually controlling the state, people who are very close to the president. They are very, very powerful. And if you read today's paper, that is why William Samoei Ruto wanted to have all the powers in his office. That is what he is doing. All the powers, including the power that should be with the Attorney General. And that is why Margaret Nyakango is being sent home. That is why they also go for the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget, because they feel that these people are questioning them. But these guys are likely to have a lot of effect in Kenya. Kuna mambo mengi ambayo yatatokea kutokana na hao viongozi ambao wanatawala nchi hii. hawa mafia, hili kundi ambalo ni kundi tu, wengine wamechaguliwa, wengine hawajachaguliwa. Kuna wanaume na wanawake, kuna vijana ambao tunasema si wazee si vijana, na kuna wengine ambao ni wazee kiasi hata kuliko rais mwenyewe. And one thing in common about them is that they are inexperienced. They have no experience at all, and they are very, very corrupt. So what effect is going to happen to our country? One thing, because they control the dollar, the economy is going to suffer. And that's why you see the dollar has become very scarce, because they trade with the dollar outside the banking system. That's the way they operate. And yale mafuta ambayo mliona yakiagizwa ni hawa majamaa, the mafia was behind this diesel saga, and they are also behind because kile ambacho wanafanya, wanaleta mmoja Mkikuyu hapa pale na wengine wawili, they were also behind the edible oil scandal that was declared unfit for human consumption, and again within some few hours it has now been prayed for, wameobewa na sasa inaweza kupewa watu. And because I've told you they don't care, hata kama watu watakufa kama hatakufa, it doesn't bother them in any way. So the other thing is that they have made some leaders very angry. What you saw in parliament the other day, when parliamentarians were fighting for the national government, the Constituency Development Fund, is because of this anger. Because anger has built up. Na sasa kile ambacho kinafanyika ni kwamba hao viongozi wetu wa bunge, maseneta, wana hasira nyingi sana, kwa sababu they cannot watch as these guys eat and vomit on our shoes. Because the anger is building every day. And what we saw in parliament was the explosion of this anger. The other effect that is likely to happen is that they are going to break the president party. UDA is going to break into pieces. And that is that's the reason why you see, because UDA is not getting the support of all the Kikuyu leaders. Naona kwamba wengine wananyamaza, wameangalia tu kujionea mambo vile ambavyo yanaendelea. And when you look at the mountain, you just see only 3 or 4 people, because these guys wanapewa chakula pale, kuna they also get something just to have the mafia look like it has the face of Kenya. Ndio sababu unaona sasa wao ndio wako pale, but majority of the Kikuyus leaders are not there. They are not in this camp. They are not allowed. They are not welcome. Again, they are also going to entrench tribalism in our country. So tribalism is going to eat this nation. Tribalism, kwamba kile kitu ambacho wanafanya, kwa sababu wanatumia ile lugha ya chamge misi ono kitafo au lete kitabu nini because that's their language, because they converse in mother tongue, kwa sababu most of the things that they do ni mambo ambayo wanahusiana na ukabila. So whatever they are going to do, they are going to entrench tribalism, and the ugly face of tribalism is already rearing its face in Kenya. And that is why you see in these meetings, because they carry money in bags, na mwa kuwaona si mara moja, they carry money with sacks, wakienda kupatia vijana barbaru, hususan wakati kuna michezo pale, because they organize those meetings in the Rift Valley. So the other thing is that they will make the economy collapse. They have no mercy. The economy is going to collapse because of this mafia, kwa sababu hana huruma, kutokana na ule wizi wa mali ya umma, ule uporaji, ubadhirifu, and they usually sometimes you find them accompanying the president abroad. And because the president does not have much control about them, he just find them there. Kama vile kwa mfano alikuwa naenda India, some of them they just accompany him, because nimesema what they have been doing, they don't care, because we know Samuel Ruto cannot even oppose them. This mafia will successfully isolate Rigathi Gachagua. Ndio sababu ukiona siku hizi ukiangalia Rigathi Gachagua haongei sana, ukiangalia sana Rigathi Gachagua has become less controversial, because he has already been isolated by these guys. And their aim is to change the constitution of Kenya. And once they change the constitution of Kenya, they'll be very, very happy. And they are going to remove that clause of term limit, presidential term limit. And William Samuel Ruto will be made a life president. That is what they are planning. That is what is happening in Kenya. And as a political analyst, we have to open your eyes. You have to listen to the ground. You have to look at things with that eye. And before the Kikuyu knows what is happening, this guy will have changed the constitution. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. I could be right, I could be wrong, but in most cases, we are right. Please like this video, share, comment, and have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.